Yes. All you can eat, folks. All you can eat. Some fat boys. Bet you didn't think you'd hear some fat boys. But the reason I play the fat boys is because we are now living in a world where obesity is the greater risk to global health than hunger is, for the first time ever since human beings have been a thing, supposedly. There are over 1 billion people who are too fat in the world. That is incredible. 159 million children and adolescents and 879 million adults have a weight that is so high relative to their height that it classifies them as obese, which is the equivalent of about 1 in 8 people. Wow. Now, the rates of underweight people dropped among children and adolescents and more than halved amongst adults across the world. Now, America is usually considered the fattest country in the world, the most obese country in the world with the most obese people, because we have 139 million obese people. But China has 200 million obese people, and India has 350 million obese people. Good Lord. India has more obese people than we have people. Now, a lot of people would say, but what about the proportion? What about the rates? Okay, the United States rates about 10th for men and 36th for women out of 190 countries. So there's about 9 countries that are fatter than us. Obesity rates against young people have quadrupled since 1990. And this means that obesity is now the most common form of malnutrition in a lot of the countries on planet Earth, according to this study published in the Lancet Medical Journal. Wow. The obesity rate amongst American adults increased from 21% in 1990 to 43.8% in 2022. Think about that, going from 21%, just about a little bit over 1/5 of the population, to almost half of the population 30 years later. Over the same period, the rate doubled from 11.6% to 19.4% amongst U.S. girls and 11.5% to 21.7% for boys. Wow. Wow. 20% of our girls and over 20% of our girls and boys are obese. And I believe it because I'm looking at some of these kids now. A lot of them are very big. You know, they weigh more than I do, or some of them. In the U.S., the men had the world's 3rd greatest increase in obesity rates during the past 2 decades, just behind Romania and Qatar, or Qatar, depending on, how you pronounce it. This research team said that there is an urgent need for serious changes in how we deal with obesity. You think? Tell us something we don't know, Poindexter. Now, obesity can raise the risk of a multitude of serious health conditions, including heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even some cancers. Globally, the obesity rate more than doubled in women, nearly tripled in men, and more than quadrupled in girls and boys over the last 30 years. Now, you guys might want to know, what are the fattest countries in the world? Well, here we go. At number 5, the Cook Islands. Okay. At number 4, Micronesia. At number 3, Polynesia. At number 2, American Samoa. I believe that. I mean, have you ever seen some Samoans? They be bringing some heat, boy. Them Samoans are big. Like, that's why so many NFL linemen are Samoans. They are big and strong. A lot of them may be fat, but they are strong too. And the number one fattest country in the world is Tonga. So obviously all these people are Pacific Islanders. Okay, the fattest countries in the world. There obviously has to be a genetic component in their case, but also a lot of people don't know America and our food systems have traveled across the world to make a lot of these countries fatter. And obviously American Samoa. But what we've done, even in Hawaii, we have exported a lot of the fattest food, the most unhealthy food that we have, to these Polynesian countries, these countries that are in the Pacific Islands. And there is a mentality amongst a lot of the people that things that are Western or things that are American are better than their traditional foods. The stuff that is just naturally occurring there on the islands. And so a lot of the stuff like Spam and all this other stuff, they eat a lot of that, thinking that because it's from America, that makes it better. And instead, it's way worse. These people have some of the best weather, some of the best, fruit, vegetables, pineapples, and coconuts, and all these things. They have, all kinds of wild boar and, things they have running around in their backyard would be a lot better for them. But they've been sort of brainwashed by American product conditioning to eat crap. And so the availability of unhealthy foods versus healthy food is thought to be behind these soaring obesity rates in these island nations. There have been marketing campaigns to encourage these unhealthy foods, and healthier options can be expensive and more difficult to find. Now, how did this happen? During the middle of the 20th century, offcuts of meat in the Pacific Islands, such as turkey tails from America and mutton flaps from New Zealand, became popular because they are cheap. And these people, like I said, are under the impression that because it is imported from America or from some other Western country that it's good, but that is not the case. The data also showed that globally around 532 million people are underweight, including 183 million women, 164 men, 77 million girls, and 108 million boys. The countries with the lowest weight, or should I say with the most underweight people, were Eritrea and Timor-Leste for women, and Eritrea and Ethiopia for men. I believe that. Where more than 20% of the adult population were underweight. The obesity rates were higher than the rates the obesity rates were higher than rates of underweight for girls and boys in around 2/3 of this world's countries. Now, who did this study? The study was conducted by the NCD Risk Factor Collaboration, a network of health scientists around the world in collaboration with the World Health Organization, the WHO. You know them from promoting the vaccine that's totally safe and effective. The researchers used body mass index, which is calculated by using their height and weight to understand how obesity and underweight have changed worldwide over 3 decades. The team gathered from more than 3,000 population studies with 222 million people. The researcher said that although BMI is an imperfect measure for determining extent of body fat, it is widely recorded in population-based surveys. So, look, we've done a story here about the sheer volume of people with type 2 diabetes in our community, in the black community, in urban communities, cancer, heart disease. We got to start moving, folks. And more importantly, we got to get these kids moving. I don't see children playing outside anymore. I'm driving around the city of Gary, Indiana every single day for the most part. I don't see kids outside playing basketball. I don't see kids riding their bikes. Hold on, caller, I'll get to you in a second. I don't see kids riding their bikes. I don't see kids playing in the streets, playing football, playing basketball. We used to play football in the streets. We used to play basketball. We used to play tag. When's the last time you saw kids playing tag? Running around. Hide and go seek. When is the last time you saw kids playing hide and go seek? Duck, duck, goose. You just don't see it anymore. These kids are on Facebook all day. They're on Twitter. They're on TikTok now. They are hooked up to these video games. And that is pretty much the extent of their socialization and their recreation. And it is killing us, folks. It is indeed killing us. Let me take this call. Hello, caller.
Scott Cannon.
What's up, brother?
Hey, and you know why you don't see that children are playing?
Why not?
You just said it. They're going to be on social media, right?
Right, the video games.
Right, that's their babysitter.
Yep.
Okay, so we live in a different time, too. When you say you was out there playing football in the street, you can't do that no more, Clyde.
How come you can't?
No, because of the danger.
What
the
danger?
danger, brother. No. See, times you got to realize, if you're a younger cat, you probably ain't even 40, right?
I'm 40 years old.
You're 40, okay.
Yes.
So at the time you came, I heard back in the past, you used to play basketball, baseball, all that.
Yeah.
Times are different. Did you hear that song by Bobby Blue Bland?
Which one?
You can't. Instead of there's love, there's blood. Okay. No, it sounds funny, but he's backwards. You can't play it in the streets no more, Scott. Okay? And you 40 years old, and I'm saying my son older than you. All I'm saying, the time I came up in the 50s and 60s, it was a different ball game, Scott. You all was break dancing. It was a different ball game then. Instead of you all fight, y'all would get some old linoleum and put it on the street in different streets. They would battle each other.
Yep.
That was their way of fighting.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah,
My
100%.
My son is 44. Okay? I know what they did. I watched them do it. All down Fifth Avenue. In the Horseman era. They were getting linoleum, old linoleum. And each street would come and compete against each other.
Yep.
Wasn't no pulling nothing. That's the way they fought.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got to get back to. If you want to compete in a constructive way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not hard to do. But see, again, you had the Ataris and the Nintendos and the Sega Genesis. That's what my son was playing. You was playing. You remember that?
Yeah, that's what I grew up playing.
I know it. You're 40.
Yes.
I know you was. I bought this stuff for him. I know what he was playing. But they had a whole different mentality, Scott. Y'all had a different mentality. Even when you were playing the game. See, a lot of the games weren't as violent. Video games weren't as violent as they are now.
Mortal Kombat was like literally decapitating people, and we had Mortal Kombat.
And yeah, but it wasn't decapitating people. See, that's the difference in these video games
Yes,
now.
that's what we were doing. We were decapitating people in Mortal Kombat, ripping people's hearts out, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I'm saying it wasn't as gross as it was now. I'm saying on a consistent basis. You know, but still, you were taught different though. You know, you although you did some of them things, but you had parents, grandparents, uncles, aunties was right there, you know, monitor you about a lot of stuff. You don't have that now. It's a lot of single moms trying to raise the boys.
Yep.
That's the difference, Scott.
Yep.
See, you probably came up in a constructive family, a family with principles, a family with structure.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
That makes a difference, Scott.
Yeah, I agree.
The boy out here doing all this crazy stuff that's very intelligent, if he came in a structure with principles and values, he wouldn't be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. That's all it is. It's how you're being raised by developmental, from a child to an adult. You know, 3 stages: childhood, adolescence, and adulthood. Those are 3 stages for developmental, as far as how a child will become an adult. Go back to their childhood and their adolescenthood, and you kill who they are.
I heard that. Thank you for your call, brother. Got to go to a break. It's all good.
Okay.
All right, thank you, everybody, for listening. It is 7:15 on the PM on a Friday night. We went long with Joe Biden talking about the State of the Union, but it was important because it's important to put into context what's going on in this country, even when, you know, the president and the Republicans are blowing smoke up your behinds. So we're a little bit behind, but when we come back, we're still going to get into the happy happies. We'll be right back after these.